Do you remember Robert Martinez, the 75-year-old retired mechanic who lost $1,800 to fake medical laboratories, claiming his blood work showed dangerous liver problems? The criminal network that targeted Robert didn't disappear after his story exposed their laboratory fraud. They simply refined their tactics and found new victims. This is the story of how that same sophisticated blood test scam operation targeted 71-year-old Nancy Williams from Dallas, Texas, a retired accountant who had been experiencing mild digestive issues. Nancy's experience reveals how these laboratory scammers operate as an organized network, sharing victim databases and perfecting their medical test manipulation techniques. By the end of this video, you'll understand how these connected blood work frauds work together, and why exposing one fake laboratory doesn't end the threat to seniors seeking legitimate medical testing. Stay until the end, because Nancy's story connects to an even larger pattern of laboratory fraud that's still targeting vulnerable seniors across the country, and her investigation uncovered connections that prove these medical scammers are more organized than anyone realized. The familiar laboratory alert. It was a Tuesday afternoon in June when Nancy's phone rang with a call that would sound disturbingly familiar to anyone who remembers Robert Martinez's story. She had just finished balancing her monthly expenses when her caller ID showed what appeared to be a medical testing center number. Mrs. Williams? This is Dr. Patricia Adams from Comprehensive Laboratory Analytics. I'm calling about urgent findings from your recent pancreatic function panel that show dangerous enzyme levels indicating potential pancreatic cancer, requiring immediate evaluation. Nancy felt immediate terror. Like Robert before her, she hadn't requested any pancreatic testing. But Dr. Adams continued with the same practiced medical authority that had fooled Robert, using official laboratory terminology and creating immediate cancer panic. Mrs. Williams, your CA19-9 tumor marker is elevated at 180, and your pancreatic enzyme levels suggest malignant transformation. Without immediate intervention, this could progress to advanced pancreatic cancer within weeks. The caller knew Nancy's accounting background, her recent digestive concerns, and even referenced her family history of cancer. The same type of personal information that had made Robert's scammer seem so legitimate. Dr. Adams spoke with impressive knowledge about pancreatic testing. I need to stress how critical early detection is for pancreatic cancer. This is one of the most aggressive cancers, but your elevated markers suggest we've caught it at a potentially treatable stage. The network's evolved strategy. Dr. Adams continued her explanation using the same sophisticated laboratory terminology approach that had trapped Robert, but refined for pancreatic cancer detection. She described tumor markers and cancer progression, with impressive medical fluency, clearly developed through multiple victim encounters. Your specific tumor marker pattern shows classic signs of pancreatic adenocarcinoma with ductal involvement. The enzyme elevation profile reveals active, malignant cell proliferation that requires emergency oncological evaluation. She explained that Nancy's digestive symptoms were exactly what pancreatic cancer patients experienced in early stages. Nancy had indeed been concerned about occasional stomach discomfort and changes in digestion. Mrs. Williams, I've been analyzing pancreatic cancer markers for 16 years, and your test pattern is one of the most urgent I've seen. Patients with your exact markers who receive immediate treatment have 85% 5-year survival rates. Like the network that had targeted Robert, Dr. Adams created hope by claiming that Nancy's analytical background meant she would understand the importance of early intervention, and that immediate action could save her life completely. We need to begin emergency pancreatic cancer evaluation within 48 hours to maximize your survival potential. This specialized testing costs $1,800, but it could mean the difference between life and death. The Insurance Deception Network. Dr. Adams used the exact same insurance manipulation strategy that had worked on Robert. She explained that Nancy's Medicare would cover the cancer evaluation, but the emergency nature required immediate payment that would be reimbursed once the testing was completed. Emergency pancreatic cancer screening requires upfront payment because the Specialized imaging equipment must be reserved, and the tumor marker analysis requires immediate processing. Once we complete evaluation and submit the cancer detection reports to Medicare, you'll receive full reimbursement within 30 days, she provided Nancy with specific Medicare oncology codes and pancreatic cancer screening authorization numbers that sounded official, the same type of fake medical bureaucracy that had convinced Robert. Dr. Adams seemed to have the same detailed knowledge of cancer insurance procedures. I understand this seems expensive, but consider the cost of advanced cancer treatment versus the investment in early detection. This screening could catch your cancer before it becomes terminal. Dr. Adams created the same type of artificial scarcity pressure that Robert had faced, explaining that the specialized pancreatic screening equipment was in limited availability and Nancy needed to secure her evaluation before other cancer patients filled the available slots. Based on your marker levels, Mrs. Williams, we've reserved emergency cancer screening specifically for your case. If you can't secure this evaluation today, the next availability won't be for 6 weeks, which could be fatal. The payment trap. Nancy felt the same overwhelming combination of cancer terror and urgency that had trapped Robert. Dr. Adams had created such convincing laboratory emergency warnings that questioning the screening seemed like accepting certain cancer death. She agreed to the cancer evaluation. Dr. Adams used the identical payment approach that had worked on Robert, guiding Nancy through wire transfer requirements to secure her emergency testing and ensure rapid evaluation initiation. The cancer screening laboratory requires immediate wire transfer to reserve specialized pancreatic imaging equipment and priority tumor marker processing. This is standard protocol for emergency cancer detection when survival depends on timing. At the wire transfer location, Nancy experienced the same hesitation Robert had felt. Dr. Adams, still on the phone, used the same coaching techniques to help Nancy explain the payment was for emergency cancer screening, which sounded medically legitimate. Nancy sent $1,800, believing she was saving her life from pancreatic cancer. Dr. Adams assured her that screening would begin within 24 hours and provided the same type of fake medical follow-up promises that Robert had received. Mrs. Williams, you've made a life-saving decision. This screening will detect your cancer before it progresses and give you the best chance for complete cure. The devastating pattern. Like Robert's experience, Nancy never received any legitimate testing. The phone numbers became disconnected, and there was no record of comprehensive laboratory analytics. When Nancy's panic drove her to see a real gastroenterologist for cancer evaluation, she learned the horrible truth. Mrs. Williams, your digestive symptoms are completely normal for your age, and there are no signs of pancreatic cancer. Your recent blood work was normal, and you don't need cancer screening. You've been the victim of the same type of laboratory scam that's been targeting seniors. The real gastroenterologist had seen similar cases and immediately recognized the pattern. Nancy learned that she had been targeted by the same criminal network that had scammed Robert Martinez, but they had simply switched from fake liver problems to fake pancreatic cancer detection. The connected investigation. Nancy's case was immediately connected to Robert's investigation when she reported the crime. FBI medical fraud investigators revealed that both Nancy and Robert had been targeted by the same sophisticated criminal organization operating across multiple states with specialized laboratory fraud divisions. The investigation showed that after Robert's story gained media attention, the network had temporarily suspended their fake liver testing scams and pivoted to fake pancreatic cancer scenarios using nearly identical psychological manipulation techniques. This is the same group that targeted mechanic Martinez, investigators explained. They used the same victim databases, the same laboratory fear tactics, and the same payment methods. They just switched the organ system based on what's getting public attention. Nancy learned that the network had extensive databases of senior health information obtained through illegal means, allowing them to target individuals with believable laboratory emergency scenarios tailored to their specific health concerns and professional backgrounds. The laboratory fraud network. Most disturbing was the discovery that Nancy and Robert were just two victims in a much larger network of laboratory fraud targeting seniors nationwide. The investigation revealed dozens of similar cases involving fake blood test emergencies designed to extract large sums from terrified elderly patients. The criminal network showed sophisticated specialization, with different teams focusing on liver problems, pancreatic cancer, kidney disease, and heart conditions while maintaining the core psychological manipulation techniques that made their scams so effective. FBI investigators warned that the same network was likely developing new laboratory fraud scenarios even as Nancy's case was being investigated, potentially targeting seniors with fake thyroid problems, diabetes complications, or other fabricated blood work emergencies. Warning signs of the network. Nancy identified the same red flags that Robert had missed, showing how the network used consistent manipulation techniques across different laboratory specialties. Unsolicited calls about blood test results that patients never authorized. The network relied on creating fake laboratory emergencies to bypass rational thinking about medical testing procedures. Immediate payment demands for Medicare-covered services. All victims were pressured to send large wire transfers before they could verify the test results or consult with their actual physicians. Medical authority figures who knew detailed health information. The network used stolen medical data to create believable scenarios that seemed impossible to fake. Emergency treatments only available through wire transfer payments. Legitimate medical testing is provided through established medical facilities with proper insurance processes and physician coordination. The continuing fight. While Nancy never recovered her 18,200. Her case provided crucial evidence linking multiple laboratory fraud operations across the country. Her cooperation with investigators helped identify pattern connections that could prevent future victims. Nancy learned the same lesson Robert had discovered. Legitimate laboratory concerns are always addressed through established medical channels with proper physician interpretation, never through unsolicited phone calls demanding immediate wire transfers. Most importantly, Nancy's investigation revealed that the network was already preparing new laboratory fraud scenarios targeting different organ systems, suggesting that more seniors would face similar blood test scam attempts in the coming months. Final thoughts. Nancy's story proves that stopping individual laboratory scammers doesn't end the threat to vulnerable seniors. These criminals operate as sophisticated networks that share resources, victim information, and successful manipulation techniques across multiple states and medical specialties. The connection between Nancy's pancreatic cancer scam and Robert's liver fraud shows how these networks adapt and evolve while maintaining their core strategy of exploiting medical testing fears for financial gain and preserving their victim databases for ongoing fraud operations. If you receive unexpected calls about urgent blood test results, remember both Robert's and Nancy's experiences. Hang up immediately and contact your actual healthcare providers to verify any laboratory claims before taking action. The fight against laboratory fraud networks continues, and understanding their connected operations is crucial for protecting yourself and other vulnerable seniors from their evolving medical testing scam schemes. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.